In the last video, we talked about using binomial theorem to compare numbers with large exponents. Now, let's go one step further to compare numbers with irrational exponents. Here is a question. Which number is larger, 2 to the power of square root of 10 or 3 squared? Generally speaking, we cannot process irrational exponents directly. Instead, we need to find a rational number close enough to replace this irrational number. There are many ways to find the rational approximate of an irrational number. In this video, I'm going to introduce the iterative method. Since square root of 10 is a number between 3 and 4, we can write it as 3 plus x. Then we can get 10 is equal to 3 plus x, then squared, which is 9 plus 6x plus x squared, which leads to x times 6 plus x is equal to 1, and then we get x is equal to 1 over x plus 6. We then define a number sequence xn in which xn is defined as 1 over x9 minus 1 plus 6. We set x0 as 0 now, but in some other cases, x0 can be defined as other values. We will cover it in the next video. It's easy for us to calculate the first few items of xn. For example, x1 is equal to 1 over 6, x2 is equal to 6 over 37, etc. Any 3 plus xn is approximate of square root of 10. For example, 3 plus x1 is equal to 19 over 6, which is number close to square root of 10. As n goes on, the difference becomes smaller, but the expression will become more complicated. So let's give 19 over 6 a try. Before we do the replacement, we need to figure out between square root of 10 and 90 over 6, which number is larger. This is easy to do by calculating their square values. 90 over 6 is equal to square root of 361 over 36, and square root of 10 is equal to square root of 360 over 36, and we can easily get square root of 10 is smaller than 90 over 6, which means 2 to the power of square root of 10 is smaller than 2 to the power of 90 over 6. Next step, we want to prove that 2 to the power of 90 over 6 is smaller than 3 squared, because these expressions combined together can lead to 2 to the power of square root of 10 is less than 3 squared. However, we don't know if the second inequality is true or not. So we need to put a question mark here. And this expression, we apply 6 power to both sides. Then we divide both sides by 2 to the 12th square power. Then the question becomes, which one is larger, 2 to the 7th power, which is 128, or 3 over 2 to the 12th power? This is similar to what we did in the last video. We will use binomial theorem to estimate the approximate value of this number. To do so, we write 12 as 3 times 3, 4. And then the entire expression becomes 5 times 1 over 18. to the third power. We did do a quick calculation of a over bn, which is 30. That means this will give us a good approximation. We use the first two items of this binomial expansion, which is 5 to the third power plus 3 times 5 squared times 1 over 18. Of course, there will be a larger than symbol here. We can get the value larger than 129, which is larger than 128, which is 2 to the power of 7. And from here, we can get 2 to the power of square root of 10 is less than 2 to the power of 19 over 6, less than 3 squared. The problem gets solved here.